Hi everyone, how you doing? This is just a really quick video. I've not made a video in a couple of days and I just wanted to come on really just to say that if you are struggling with gambling addiction, you're not alone. I mean, many people are experiencing difficulties with gambling, but the good news is you don't have to suffer in silence, and there is a way out. I mean, there's various things that you can do to help you along in your recovery, whether that be reaching out for counselling, whether that's putting gambling software on your anti-gambling software on your computer, such as Gamblock, which I would recommend. There's other gambling software available out there as well, that'll act as a barrier to prevent you from doing it. Because the thing is, I've been watching videos on YouTube and you hear a lot of real horror stories of suicides and things like that. I mean, from my experience, gambling, it ultimately leads to pain and misery, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your friends. It's a wasted life. It really is. Gambling addiction is such a wasted life. And there's so much more to life. So if you feel that you are struggling or whatever, reach out to people. Look on YouTube, find videos, because one of the things that I understand is imperative is the identification that we get with another gambling addict. There's something special happens when one gambling addict talks to another. It's like that world of isolation and loneliness just melts away. Now, for me, I would suggest there's meetings of GA, Gamblers Anonymous. There's therapy. There's various avenues you can do, but keeping it to yourself will only make it 10 times worse. And I know that from experience. It's like the shame, the guilt, the remorse. It eats us alive, and I mean it's a serious condition. Gambling addiction. It's not something that you can mess about with. If you have a problem with gambling, take it serious, please. Because without support and without help, it can get a lot worse. Now, the thing is, with gambling, you don't necessarily have to go down the road go to the depths that some of us have gone. If you're spending a bit too much money on gambling than you want to, then it's a problem, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to lose your relationships, you don't have to lose your house, your jobs, you don't have to be committing crime and things like that to have a problem. You can have you can have a gambling problem if you're spending more money than you want to on gambling. If it's an issue and a problem to you, it's a problem, isn't it? But don't minimize it, because I think one of the things that we can often do is minimize the consequences of our gambling. Well, I've only lost 500 quid this time, or I've managed to be able to keep £100 out of my salary, even though you've probably spent 1,000. We come up with all sorts of things to try and minimize it. But the reality is, we need to look at it honestly. And when we look at things honestly, that's in the light of that honesty, that's when we can start making progress in moving forward. I would advise anybody, if you're struggling, talk to somebody who you know you can trust. And it's a frightening thing to do. It really is a frightening thing to do, because you don't know what the reaction's going to be. If it's your wife, if it's your husband, if it's your child, adult child, if you're not married, if you've got adult children, if it's your best friend or workmates, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at the reaction that a lot of people, many people will know anyway. Many people will know anyway. But I mean, one of the first things really is reaching out, and that's essentially what I'm doing these videos for, to reach out to people, to say that, look, you're not alone. Recovery is possible, and you can have a life that's worth living. With me, it's been a while now. I recognise that I'm extremely fortunate, and it was one of the most difficult things that I've ever really had to deal with. It had my head battered, absolutely battered. But today Today, thank God, I don't live with it dominating my life. The only time I think about gambling, like I've said, is in previous videos, is when I do these videos. I don't think about gambling. I have a job. I have money in the bank. I have a roof over my head. Bills are paid. I have a wife. I have a family. I have my daughter back in my life. And life is good. Life is good. I have hobbies. Never had hobbies before. I've got hobbies now. And the thing is, I keep all. I've got all this stuff, and I'm really grateful. And you can have that too. You can have that too. What I've got in my life today, I never ever thought possible. I never could have dreamed of what I've got today in my life. And if you compare it to what other people have got, people might look at what I've got and think, oh, that's not much. But I tell you what, I am profoundly grateful for everything. For everything. I've got a job. I've got friendships. It's life's good. Life's good. And you can have a good life too. You can have a good life, despite what your mind tells you. But it's dependent upon recovery, and going through that process of stopping gambling. And the only encouragement I can give is, or the experience that I have is through working a 12-step program, which it's you can complicate the arse out of it, but it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to do. It's not a great, arduous task. If you know that you're going to gamble again, and you know that lack of power is your problem, and you know that only through trying to make a connection with a higher power, or a power greater than yourself, which will help restore you to some sort of sanity, then we can move forward. You make a commitment to do the rest of the steps, and then you'll connect to some power, which throughout that process, after making restitutions and making amends, and it transforms the steps. The whole process transforms our views, our outlook on life. And it's not complicated. It's pretty straightforward. You just follow the instructions in the steps. Find somebody who's gone through them. Follow the instructions, and then you can have that experience where you know that you'll be okay, so long as you do certain things, and as long as you apply certain things within your day-to-day life, you can have a good life. It's not difficult. It can be done. Recovery is possible. And we do recover. It's really sad because still we see people suffering, and there's really no need for that. You don't have to suffer anymore. You really don't. I'm going to leave this here. I hope this has inspired you to maybe inquire about the 12 steps. I've got no. I'm not really wanting anything from this other than to try and offer support, because I know when I was in that situation, desperately looking for help and support, there was nothing. There was nothing in the around about 2004, 2005. It was horrendous trying to get help and support. Thankfully, it doesn't have to be like that today. But take care. Speak to somebody if you can, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you. I just want to say before I go, thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed to the channel. It really does mean a lot, and it keeps me motivated to keep going. So thank you again. I read all the comments, and I try to reply to them as well. So thank you. I do appreciate it, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye now.